Hello, my royal lovelies. Welcome back to the channel, and as always, welcome to my home. It is sweltering outside today, hence the outfit. So the pearls are safely tucked away in their safe. Just be thankful that I'm not just sat here in Speedos, to be quite honest. Anyway, it's a good segue. Speaking of hot air, Harry and Meghan have been at it again, haven't they? We'll get to all the Colombia stuff in a moment. My goodness. I mean, honestly, to be perfectly honest, every time they open their mouths now, I just go, oh, what now? What now? I mean, honestly. I mean, the irony is, these days, I am not trying to flatter anybody. I'm not trying to pander to anyone. I don't care if I get cancelled. I don't care if people unsubscribe. Do your worst, my lovies. There will always be haters out there, and I am not gone are the days when I pander to anybody. So you get my honest, raw opinions of what goes on, and I have to say, I am so not into Harry and Meghan, but the irony is not lost on me. I do quite realise that I am doing a job that entails talking about the royal family, and whether we like it or not, Harry and Meghan are still technically part of the royal family. He still has the HRH, and still to this day, people are making the mistake. People are commenting saying, but he doesn't have the HRH. He does still have the HRH, much to many people's dismay. He does still have it legally. He just well, he didn't choose. He was kind of, he agreed during the Sandringham summit not to use it for business purposes. So in everyday life, he doesn't use it, but he is entitled to use it on legal documents and in a legal setting. So he does still have the HRH. And like I said, the irony isn't lost on me. I'm doing a job that is talking about the royal family. They are part of the royal family. And it's almost like being an ostrich. Not talking about Harry and Meghan is like being an ostrich, just burying your head in the sand. It's like ignoring something that everyone else is talking about. And I can't do that. I'm not an ostrich, I do face things that I don't like talking about, but I have to admit, it's a bit of a it's a bit of an antithesis. I don't like talking about Harry and Meghan, but here I am finding myself talking about Harry and Meghan. Um, it is what it is, my loves. Right, let's start with the first story. So, Harry and Charles and their deepening rift. I've got an article in front of me which I'll use for reference, and I will stop and discuss it and give my honest, raw opinions. So, insiders close to Prince Harry. So, this is a source that's coming from Sussex insiders. So, this isn't palace spin, as some of the Sussex squad might try and claim with certain things. But they claim that the king no longer answers Harry's calls amid growing tensions over the Duke's security battle. Now, again, we will talk about Colombia in a moment, because that is very pertinent to the whole security issue and Harry's argument that he's not safe in the UK. So, friends of Prince Harry. Now, this is, they've actually noted friends. So it's not just sources or sources close to. These are friends of Prince Harry. Claimed that King Charles is no longer answering his estranged son's calls or responding to his letters as their rift deepens. What I'm most shocked about is that Harry's actually writing letters out of that whole sentence. The thing that leaps out to me the most is not that King Charles is not accepting his phone calls or communication is strained or continuing to be strained. What's shocking me is Harry writing a letter. I mean, we know who is the letter writer, don't we? In that Montecito household, I can just see a little claw with a calligraphy pen. hmm You know what I mean. Anyway, I'm shocked. I'm shocked he can even spell his own name. To be quite honest, he's probably learning his ABCs with Archie and Lily. Probably all learning together. Anyway, the Duke of Sussex and Charles last saw each other in person in February, when they met for 45 minutes Shocking, wasn't it? 45 minutes in London following that mad dash that performative dash that Harry did across an ocean to be with dear Papa, and then slags everyone off. My goodness. Oh, honestly. I recoil in disgust, I really do. So they haven't seen each other in person since February, but sources close to Harry said their communication has worsened since amid growing tensions over the Duke's battle for his security when in Britain. He is said to be frightened about the safety of his wife Meghan and children Archie and Lily, and believes the king has the power to intervene in his ongoing court case with the Home Office. What a load of bunkum. The king does not have any control over royal protection. This is one of the benefits of royal protection, is that the protection is independent of the person being protected. This is what makes it extra special compared to your own personal paid for private security that Harry is quite happy to have in the US. And the reason for that is because think back to Diana and Dodi. Dodi had complete control over security. Security is employed by Dodi. And then basically they have to follow orders whether or not they think something is safe. They can advise, but basically if the principal that the security is looking after says, I don't want to do this, I want you to do it this way, they have to do it. Whereas with royal protection, the protection officers are employed by the police, by the state. They do not have to take orders from King Charles or Prince William or Prince Harry or whoever they are looking after at the time. They take orders from their superiors, not the royals. They don't take orders from the people they are protecting. And that is one massive benefit. When I read, I think it was Guarding Diana or something, her security officer said that he had to tell her on numerous occasions, when in private, not public, when in private, to put her seatbelt on because she was a bugger for not putting on her seatbelt, regardless of what her family's saying. She might have put a seatbelt on for them. She might have belted up, and when in public, but when she was in her car on her own, she was a little devil. She did not put her seatbelt on, and we saw the repercussions of that, of what happened in Paris. But her security guard said, made her put it on, also told her to slow down when she was driving, blah, 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 and she had to do it. So, so basically, there is a gulf, a world of difference between paid for private security and royal protection. One is far superior to the other, I have to say. So sources told the US magazine People, it all seems to come out in People, doesn't it, that the issue of security began as a point of frustration between father and son, but has now developed into complete silence. Well, silence is gold when it comes to Harry and Meghan, I have to say. A friend of Harry's said, direct quotes, he gets unavailable right now. Oh, imagine. His calls go unanswered. He has tried to reach out about the king's health, but those calls go unanswered too. Yeah. I mean, I can understand why William and Charles do not want to speak to Harry. Conversations they may have had may find it into the media. I'm sure there are examples of that. They can't trust Harry. They can't trust Harry as far as they can throw him. And that is the issue. Trust. That is the main issue. Trust has been irretrievably broken down, and I cannot see a way back. Harry has just, harpooned his father. I mean, we'll go on to also, they've just done an interview that's due to come out on Sunday talking about cyber security and, all this, that, and the other, and cyber bullying. And we'll talk about that. But I just want to make the quick point that they have made a career out of bullying their own family. Exactly. It's definitely not lost on all of us, is it? So anyway, I just thought, Harry's not going to get his security back in the UK. That ship has sailed. He can try as much as he wants to appeal or whatever. King Charles has no control over security. There is something regarding Prince Andrew's security. I do believe the king is paying for security for Prince Andrew, but this is not current royal protection. These are ex-royal protection officers, so you can employ ex-royal protection officers, but you can't employ serving ones. So ex ones you can employ in a private capacity, current ones you cannot, as was shown when Harry tried to offer to pay for security. You can't do it. It's not available for sale. The King, when he was Prince of Wales, also did pay for ex-royal protection to look after Camilla in that kind of gap period when they were dating, sort of after Diana's passing, in between then and marrying. So you can pay for royal protection, but it has to be those that are no longer serving. Just noticed my hair looks like a hair tiara today, doesn't it? Anyway, let's move on to a different story before we get on to the other Harry and Meghan stuff. So this is something that is affecting William and Harry and the whole royal family, I think, as their uncle has passed away aged 82. And I say uncle by marriage. So Lord Robert Fellows, the uncle of Prince William and Harry, has died aged 82. He served as private secretary to Queen Elizabeth for 9 years and was married to Princess Diana's sister, Lady Jane Spencer, who became Lady Jane Fellows for 46 years. He was the Queen Elizabeth's most important advisor during the divorces of 3 of her children and the late Princess of Wales's death in 1997. He also helped the Queen during that horrible year, the Annus Horribilis of 1992, when, of course, Charles and Diana separated, Andrew and Sarah separated, and there was that great fire at the castle, at Windsor Castle. So anyway, he passed away on the 29th of July, and the cause of passing remains undisclosed at this moment. Tributes were led by a plethora of people that knew him in the public eye in the royal family, including Diana's brother, Earl Spencer, who wrote, my absolutely exceptional brother-in-law Robert is no longer with us. A total gentleman in all the best meanings of that word. He was a man of humour, wisdom, and utter integrity, not like some people we know. I'm deeply proud to have been his brother-in-law. Lord Fellows married Diana's sister, Lady Jane Spencer, in 1978, with whom he shares 3 children, Alexander, Eleanor, and Laura. So there we go. I'm sure they will all be very upset. He sounds like a very loved and respected member of the family. One of those royals that sort of doesn't, not a glory hunter. They don't need to take out full-page adverts in People magazine to tell people of the good work that they do. They just get on with it quietly behind the scenes, and are respected for doing so. So my sympathies extend to his family and his friends, colleagues, all those who knew and worked with him. And I know that you guys, all of my viewers, will send the same wishes as well. Right. What should we start with? So Harry and Meghan have got a CBS interview about cyber abuse coming out, and says parents have to be first responders, and warns many can't spot the first signs of suicide. My goodness. Harry and Meghan have released a new CBS interview about cyber abuse, with the Duke saying parents have to be first responders. He said that, terrifyingly, many parents do not know to tell the signs of possible suicide. The full interview will be available on CBS on Sunday morning. And I think it's the first major interview since Oprah. Obviously, he did his promotional interviews to promote Spare, but their first kind of sit down interview together. Apart from Netflix, of course, which was paid. Throughout the interview clip, so there's just a clip at the moment. Oh, by the way, Meghan. What would you expect the Queen of Beige to be wearing? She's wearing beige, isn't she? Throughout the interview clip, with host Jane Pauley. I have to say, I've probably seen her. Is she the one that interviewed Madonna in 1986? I may have known her from there. Anyway, the royal couple speak about how parents need to protect children from online harm, reflecting on their own experiences with Prince Archie 5 and Princess Lee. Now, on this point, I do agree. I mean, as someone who works online, I know how nasty people can be. So, I agree. Cyber abuse is a thing. Cyber abuse is out there. We do have to protect ourselves as adults, and we have to protect our children as well. And we have to give them the tools to be able to deal with social media in the modern age. So, in that respect, I agree. I agree absolutely. But where Harry and Meghan lose me is the irony of them preaching about compassion and, all this have to be, what was it? They have to be all this and that, when in fact they are using social media, the media, to bully their own families. I mean, it renders me slightly speechless. I mean, I'm not going to be speechless. I'm going to be talking. But do you know what I mean? It's one of those things. It's just ironic. Total, total, total irony. Um, they call up the magazines and, let their people give, source information, and they do Netflix and Oprah and Spare, all in the name of harpooning and sort of getting their own back. Retribution is, they are the prince and princess of retribution, not compassion. But the thing is, the retribution that they think they have just comes back and slaps them in the face in the form of bad PR, because they're just not respected. They could have just got on with things. They could have just left and got on with things quietly and tried to sort things out on the side. But no, it wasn't going to profit them, was it, to sort things out privately and quietly? So, what's the Duchess of Beige been saying? Our kids are young. They're 3 and 5. They're amazing. But all you want to do as parents is protect them. I mean, has she thought that that's perhaps what, their own parents have been trying to do? And so we can see what's happening in the online space. We know that there's a lot of work to be done, and there we're just happy to be able to be part of change for good. When the broadcaster adds, you hope that when your children ask for help, someone is there to give it, the Duke adds. Only if you know to help. Oh my goodness. Oh, daddy help me, daddy help me. Send me money, send me money. Silence falls. At this point, we've got to the stage where almost every parent needs to be a first responder, he said. This is therapy talk, therapy words. He said, and even the best first responders in the world wouldn't be able to tell the signs of possible suicide. That's the terrifying piece of this. The clip, which was shared on social media this afternoon, comes after it was announced that the Californian-based royals will visit Colombia. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. Oh my goodness. Well, I'm not going to be watching the interview. I can't be bothered. I'll read the snippets and I'll comment on them. But anyway, so there are Harry and Meghan sat together, him with his hands clasped like this, her with that kind of pensive look on her face. The actress at work. Oh my goodness. Let me know in the comments section, will you be watching it? Anyway, right, let's get to Colombia. Now, Harry and Meghan have made a bit of a pastime. They love holidaying in the most dangerous places in the world, don't they? So, Nigeria, Colombia, where's next? Russia, North Korea. Where's next on their most dangerous places in the world tour? Never mind the privacy tour, it's a danger tour. Let's just hope she doesn't start moonwalking. I don't know. So, they've chosen to visit one of the world's most dangerous countries. Ex-royal protection officers weigh in as security-conscious the Sussexes reveal tour to Colombia despite UK safety fears. Okay, so Harry and Meghan have made a big, massive song and dance of not being safe in the UK, even though they do actually have security when they come to the UK, because he always gets escorted from the airport back to the palace. It's not automatic. It's not an automatic right. But it's judged on a case-by-case basis. But of course, he wants the protection to be there automatic. Well, he hasn't got his wishes, but he's more than happy to go on the invite. It's like rent-a-royals, isn't it? So basically, these countries can't get official royals politically to come to the country. So basically, Harry is like rent-a-royal. It goes back to the sort of the days when you know the Germans invited Wallis and Edward over. Edward was delighted that Wallis had been invited, that he could give her a bit of a royal tour, make her feel royal, even though she wasn't an HRH. It's the same thing. It's to make them all feel important and special and royal. That's what it's all about. It's faux royal. It's like royal dress up. It's faux royal gameplay at its finest and most explicit. Anyway, so these countries, Nigeria, Colombia, they think, well, we've got an easy invite. We'll just invite him, show him basically a bit of a faux royal tour. He'll come on the pretense of Invictus or the pretense of the Archewell Foundation, in this case, the Archewell Foundation for Colombia. And of course they'll say yes. So this is not just press talk. These Nigeria and Colombia have been designated dangerous places. The risk of terrorism, civil unrest, kidnapping, and that their decision to accept it, I think, speaks volumes. When he won't even bring Meghan back to the UK. I mean, my goodness, seriously. A former Royal Protection Officer who remains anonymous says they have chosen to visit one of, if not the most, dangerous countries in the world. But nothing amazes me with Harry and Meghan these days. The UK's Foreign and Commonwealth Office advises strictly against all but essential travel to parts of Colombia. And the US Department of State issued a travel advisory for Colombia stating, reconsider travel due to crime and terrorism. Exercise increased caution due to civil unrest and kidnapping. Oh my goodness. And there's also the actual the government of Colombia, the vice president issued a statement which I'll read now and we'll talk about. So, Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, will visit Colombia at the invitation of the Vice President of Colombia. It all sounds very official, doesn't it? I mean, I wonder if they go through this much sort of press release when they have a mere celebrity arriving. As the Vice President of Colombia, I mean, what does one have to be to get to the President? And Minister of Equality and Equity, I am pleased to announce that Prince Harry and Meghan, the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, have kindly accepted my invitation to visit our beautiful country. During their trip, the Duke and Duchess will join me in visiting Bogota, as well as the Caribbean and Pacific regions. In these vibrant locations, they will have exceptional opportunity to engage with leaders, youth and women who embody the aspirations and voices of Colombians committed to progress. In addition to these meaningful interactions, the Duke and Duchess will experience the rich heritage of Colombia. Their visit comes at a particularly significant time as it precedes the first global ministerial conference on ending violence against children to be held in Colombia this November. The Archewell Foundation, founded by the Duke and Duchess, is renowned for its global leadership in fostering a safer online environment. It doesn't extend to their families. The forthcoming conference will unveil a comprehensive framework, blah, 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 mental health, blah, blah, blah. The Duke and Duchess, as well as the Archewell Foundation, will engage in several activities related to this important topic. I mean, I don't disagree it's an important topic. We are confident that their visit will further illuminate Colombia's role as a beacon of hope and innovation. I can't read it, there's a little sticker in the way. So it all sounds very official. This is the sort of thing that you release when you are sort of hosting an official working royal, not a mere celebrity who stepped back. So Harry and Meghan could not resist another show pony opportunity to showboat their wares because they know that brand royal is worth money in the bank. It's worth ka-ching. It's worth the dollars. Holla for the dollar. as they say. I'm sure she'll be doing her shimmy. I don't want to shimmy too much in case the microphone rattles. But you know what I mean. She'll be there. She'll probably be wearing those short beige shorts. A beige. No, no. I'm going to predict now. She'll be wearing beige shorty shorts, but they'll be like baggy and flapping. She'll be wearing a brown belt. She'll have a white shirt on, unbuttoned to about here. She'll have a microphone on because, of course, she'll be being filmed for Netflix or something. I think she'll have a hair possibly scraped back in some kind of ponytail or chignon or something. She'll have beige makeup, beige shorts, sort of beige or white top. Um, yeah, that's what I'm anticipating. She is like the queen, the princess of beige, isn't she? Really, have a bit of colour, my love. You know, where's I mean, when she does try and wear colour, she kind of goes a bit wrong. But the only one I actually quite liked was that green thing she wore. Although I wasn't very keen on the cape. Anyway, just goes to show they are prepared to go to the most dangerous places in the world. But then when it comes to the UK, it's a no. Just because spitting their dummies out of the pram, just because they haven't managed to get what they want. I don't know. I think it's terrible. I really do. Right. Well, let's hope I don't have to speak about them for a bit. Let's hope they put their heads down. But who knows? Right. Thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed what I've been talking about, then please leave a comment, like, share, subscribe, all the rest of it. And I'll see you next time. So from a sweltering UK, to you all, and goodbye.